Today we are going over the biggest mysteries in Halo lore, the plot holes, the lack of information or straight up contradictions in the facts of Halo. Some of these may have been addressed in the books or comics or somewhere off in the web, but were undoubtedly unexplained at first and plot holes to be filled later. And unless you're a lore master, you've probably been wondering what happened in these moments as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. It's gonna be a good one. Welcome back, guys. This is Chris, but you can also call me Ron. If you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe and turn the notifications bell on next to it to be updated on the latest Halo news and updates via mobile, YouTube, and email.
So, where do we stand?
Our fighters are mopping up the last of their recon picket now, nothing serious. But I've isolated approach signatures for multiple CCS-class battle groups. Make it 3 capital ships per group. And in about 90 seconds...
At number 10, we have the name Halo. The first couple of missions in Halo CE are some of the best in gaming, full of wide open spaces, challenging threats, amazing gameplay, and badass weapons. But the computer systems of the Pillar of Autumn had one strange coincidence. Upon the imagery of the ring used in the ship, the crew already had the ring called Halo. Now, how did they already know what this thing is called without even knowing anything about it yet? Well, you can go and say that the fact that it's called Halo is because it looks like a halo, right? But really, I think this is just a classic case of a developer error. At number 9, recharging shields. Now, a lot of us at first put Spartans and energy shields in the same category, right? Every Spartan has energy shields, right? I mean, every single Halo game has its own form of shielding systems. Even the Spartans in Halo Wars had them, although the problem is, they weren't supposed to. The advances in technology that allowed the humans to access shield technology wasn't developed until the later part of the war, a full 20 years after the events of Halo Wars. And this was probably just to keep the gameplay consistent over all the games, and I love the sound of the recharging Spartans, but it sure as hell contradicted the lore of the franchise. At number 8, we have night vision. Becoming a Spartan is no joke. Super strength, super agility, immunity, faster minds, and all that good shit Spartans now have thanks to the augmentations, although one particular one is never really showcased within the Halo games or mix-up of animated and live-action films. That, of course, being the enhanced vision, specifically night vision. A Spartan is actually intended to have the vision of a cat at night without any armor, just like a cat, right? Allowing almost complete vision during night or in dark spaces. So why does Chief and all the other Spartans always rely on flashlights or night vision or visor mods to see the dark? Gameplay reasons? Or maybe it just looks damn cool. Who knows, but simply it has not been addressed yet. At number 7, we have Halsey's evil stepchildren.
I requested your assistance, Commander, and do not need a report on events that occur on my own doorstep. What I do require is a detailed account of your previous engagement. George, it's been too long.
Mom.
What have you done with my armor?
Just some additions I've made.
Indeed. Visegrad Relay. Its data center...
The game version of Halo Reach, along with its coinciding novel, The Fall of Reach, have plenty of differences. But one that stands out is how in the book, the Doctor has no real knowledge of the Spartan 3s. Hop into the game though, we get a full-on scene where Halsey clearly knows about Noble Team's existence, and therefore, all the Spartan 3s. It seems that the devs wanted to throw Halsey in the game, but didn't want the drama of this inner conflict to take away from the game's main focus, being the invasion of the planet.
And nothing, not even the Flood, can stop it.
Boo.
At number 6, the Gravemind might be an idiot. Or maybe us. So, have you ever thought about how weird it is that the Gravemind was able to teleport both the Arbiter and Master Chief to completely different places in the galaxy, but somehow never came across the idea and nor chose to use this as a strategy to infect helpless planets, right?
But first it must be found. You will search one likely spot, and you will search another. Fate hath us meet as foes,
I mean, one spore sent somewhere just in the right place could infect an entire planet, right? I mean, it just seems like it would be really simple and really easy. Obviously, this would ruin the whole story, but I don't know, the only possible reason that comes to mind is that the Gravemind only had enough juice for 2 teleports, which I suppose would make sense because he needed them to go save the galaxy from even the Flood being destroyed, but why wouldn't he do it before or after? I don't know. If you guys have anything to say on this, then let me know. Maybe we're missing some crucial lore information here, but it seems to be like a plot hole, as far as I know. At number 5, why aren't you a space zombie, damn it? So we didn't know at the time, but the Flood infects every single living life form. That includes your dog, that includes your non-existent girlfriend, and that includes your poor grandma that you need to write back in thanks for the gifts that she gave to you for Christmas. So in Halo CE, when Master Chief first enters the Foreigner bunker, opens the door, and having the dead Marine fall into his arms, why the hell was the Marine non-infected? Alright, so it's just something that many of us don't really question. So it's just a limp body that somehow had managed to collapse perfectly on the door, perfectly where Master Chief opens the door onto him, which I suppose is possible because in a certain way that could happen, I guess. But what really doesn't make sense here is that the Marines should be infected by the Flood. Maybe they were distracted by the other Marines, maybe by Sergeant Johnson, and they just left him behind, but I really don't think the Flood are the kind of ones to just leave a perfectly usable flesh, a thing of biomass laying there on the floor. Maybe he got some of Sergeant Johnson's juices on him. We will never know. Or maybe, if you do know, let me know down in the comments below. At number 4, the profits were probably high when they decided to make this decision. Betraying and deciding to remove all the elites from being guardians within the Covenant was the single most stupidest and foolest decision that the Covenant decision makers ever decided to make. They were just a few weeks away from obtaining their goal of this great journey. Even with the Arbiter slowly realizing the truth behind the Halo Ring, this betrayal just did not need to happen at all. They were this close.
This is unprecedented. Unacceptable.
A hierarch is dead, Commander.
His murderer was within our grasp. If you had not withdrawn our phantoms...
Are you questioning my decision?
No, Holy One. I only wish to express my concern that the brutes...
Recommissioning the Guard was a radical step. But recent events have made it abundantly clear that the elites can no longer guarantee our safety.
This is equivalent to like a professional sports team taking out their best player during the last few important minutes, not weeks, minutes of the game. It just doesn't bode well for success at all. Alright, if Truth did not act out this betrayal, then the rings would have been more than likely fired and the great journey would have begun. Or rather, everything would have ended. So yeah, great job, Prophets. Get fucked.
For you is an alien artifact neither human nor Covenant in origin, advanced beyond our comprehension, until now. Thanks.
At number 3, we have short-term memory loss. So Cortana's origin story has always been a little bit secretive, but with Halo Reach, we got to see some of the AI's earlier days of existence. Dr. Halsey and Cortana were both researching an ancient Foreigner facility. Now this clearly gave the two enough knowledge to understand that at one point in time, a highly advanced race ruled the galaxy. Fast forward just a few days after the events of Halo Reach, progressing into Halo CE's storyline, we once again witnessed Cortana come in contact with the Foreigner architecture and technology. While crash landed on Halo, time after time she speaks out in awe and shock of this crazy new world they just discovered, acting like she had never seen anything like it before, or something like this could ever exist. And why that does sort of make sense to a degree because she didn't know about the Halo rings, it still doesn't add up to the fact that she wasn't at least a little bit more aware of the fact that this was the same ancient race that made the artifact back on Reach. At number 2, the Gravemind might be a moron. Or maybe me, because I'm not understanding this completely. So here it is. Whenever I would play a campaign playthrough of Halo 3, I never really gave much thought to how the hell did High Charity actually show up at the Ark in the latter part of the game. It just seemed like the obvious way for the Flood to just show up. But what did it actually take for the immense space city to actually arrive at the Ark? Did High Charity somehow manage to go through the same portal on Earth that the others went through? Well, clearly it didn't, or else Earth would have been consumed by the Flood. Actually, High Charity didn't even go near Earth's atmosphere. Now, apparently the Gravemind was able to and managed to alter Covenant technology in High Charity via precursor science and intelligence, because after all, the Flood are the precursors, the much more ancient and intelligent civilization beyond the Foreigners, and he made a direct slip space and then crashed afterwards. But even then though, if the Flood was that close to the Sol system, why did it not choose to drop a few infection forms off somewhere? Apparently his plans were obviously much more important to stop the rings, and if he did, he would have been able to stop everything. But still, why the hell would you put all your eggs in one basket? Now, I know your plans are very important on the Ark, Gravemind, but would it have really hurt to send just one motherfucking comet with the Flood? Just in case things didn't work out. Just in case. At number 1, contradicting real life. One aspect of Halo that has always made the franchise stand out and that I find very fascinating was that it's almost as accurate as it can be, accurate correlation with real life, and its realistic approach to the future of the human race in 500 years. Everything about the series always felt so natural and as believable as it gets for a futuristic Spartan fighting space battle series. But once 3 for 3 introduced the Didact and the story of ancient humanity, things started to get out of track real fast, if it didn't already with, foreigner stuff. But after already adapting to a highly advanced race, the ancient humans were eventually mind-fucked all the way back to their primitive roots, and were placed back on the human home world of Earth. Now here is where things get a little bit fishy.
The humans' actions threaten the galaxy. Yet we have treated them as the mantle required. Their punishment is just.
Justice is reducing their genetics in such short generations from a spacefaring race to... this?
They are closer now to the animals they behaved as.
If not for their encounter with the Flood, their gene plan could have surpassed our own. They could have someday held the mantle of responsibility.
The history in the Halo lore is, or was, our real life history. The same stuff that we study and learn about our real life past was the same stuff those people in Halo universe actually lived in. For example, World War II actually happened in Halo's lore. Now in real life, history traces humanity's roots all the way back to 200,000 years ago, not the 100,000 years ago claimed in the Halo lore put in place. So teachers in the Halo lore were stating about how humanity evolved and came from the exact same place as we do today, but none of those would make any sense with the way ancient humans were put into place into the Halo lore. Maybe the Foreigners placed fake skeletons in the ground for future humans to discover and to dupe them into thinking that we had actually evolved, therefore not questioning their existence. So guys, what did you find the most interesting in this video? Are these plot holes? Do you have some small details in Halo lore or facts or theories that you want to share down in the comments that might explain these plot holes or lack of understandings? Be sure to let me know, because I would love to make a follow-up video and explain some of these so people have a better grasp on Halo lore in general, and so would I. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, be sure to drop it a like and a dislike if you don't like it, and let me know why down in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.